Someone gave Jack access to the
Yeah,
soundboard.
the Breaking Enemy live show. It's Wednesday, August 5th. I'm Jack,
And I'm G-Shock.
and I've got the soundboard. Here we go. Come on. How you feeling, Gino?
Feeling good today. We got a couple of interesting things to talk about. What are we talking about today, Jack?
Well, there's a lot going on. We're getting into the stock tips. We're getting into the stock game with Pinterest, talking about their Q2 earnings. And then Old Navy has a new ad as well. Coca-Cola's a global campaign. We got AB InBev, International Beer Day, a global brand film from Wyatt and Kennedy. That's always going to get some love from us. And then we got some great guests. Max Reisinger is the new leader of the ad industry.
Future.
He's the future, I think. Bruno
Can you
Regalo.
bet on a person?
What's up?
Can you bet on a person?
I don't know the ethics on that, but Bruno Regalo is another person that is the global chief design officer at TBWA. Their design agency, DXD, it's called. Just did their rebrand for TBWA. And then we got Kemma, Kefalas, the head of the creative lab at Yahoo, talking about their new spot. And also, like, Yahoo is doing a bunch of shit. They're just doing a bunch of shit. And we're going to talk about all of it. But Gino, our first story. Spotify skip ahead tool just dropped. And
Don't do this to me, Spotify.
listen, we love Spotify. I've been to a lot of Spotify events. Love the team over there. But you have to draw a line in the sand somewhere, Gino.
Yeah, this is a little too much for me. This is hard for me to really fathom. Skip ahead button. This is tough, so bear with me here. They're building a feature, or testing a feature right now that you can skip ads for podcasts that you're listening to on Spotify. Breaks my heart. I mean, there are some shows where the first 8 minutes of the show are all ads.
Yeah.
And I love that. Like, I don't skip through that.
Yeah,
I want that to be, like, that's a whole experience of its own. Like, for you to skip that, that's an issue.
I actually have it on mine. If you see, I listened to the podcast Son of a Boy Dad, and there's the skip ahead, and I did it today. And it was disgusting. So this is kind of like a breaking thing. They're kind of like slowly, quietly rolling this out.
We saw it.
But we found out who's on that story. James Cridland. This is from the Pod News.
What a niche.
Pod News.
They do a great job, Pod News.
Exclusive. Can you imagine getting the exclusive scoop on something like this?
Oh my gosh.
So Gino, the weird thing is that, like, okay, now if you're an advertiser on these podcasts, people always kind of said that people skip the ads anyways, so you're just kind of like enabling that consumer behavior. If you look in the article,
Is that true, though?
they said the data says that only 10% of ads get skipped. Less than 10% of ad breaks are actually skipped.
I would imagine, Jack, I've never done this before, so I'm just imagining.
Right.
Like, you're going to skip an ad, you hit the plus 15 second button, and then you go a little too far in, and you guys skip back, and you still listen to a portion of the ad. You might as well just listen to the whole damn ad.
I know. Well, people put a lot of time and effort into those ad reads, and as a show that prides itself on its ability to deliver ad reads to a live audience, I just think that a little bit more respect is due to the hardworking people that are making these ad reads, these CTAs. I think ad reads are an interesting world to live in.
Yeah.
I feel like we experience this, like, it feels like it's, some of these ad reads on these podcasts you're right, it's like 2.5 minute long ad read.
They're long.
And I guess I kind of understand that point. Like, at some point you stop skipping ahead and you're just like, surely it's going to be over soon. And then you catch a quick CTA.
Well, yeah, and then think about, like, the user experience. Like, if you're listening to a podcast on your commute, or like you're walking around, like, you might not be able to pull your phone out and, like, just hit skip. So some people listen to it. So obviously, if people are skipping these ads, advertisers are going to lose those results. They'll spend less potentially on podcasts. That's a real thing here. What's interesting too is, like, Spotify's allowing the skip ahead button for premium users only, and including on their own Spotify podcasts, like where their ads are placed via Spotify. So it's interesting.
They're playing both ends. They're like selling you the premium, and then also, like, on the other side of it, like, you have to pay. If you're not paying, then you're paying for the ads. So they're trying to, like, take it from both sides, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Alexandra Manning in the LinkedIn chat says,
What's up?
Big time Spotify ad skipper here, unless I can't reach for my phone.
Right.
I mean, come on. What are you doing? Stop skipping the ads.
I think a learning from this now is, like, if you're going to place podcast ads regardless, like, just make them better. Make the ad read more interesting. or maybe work with the brand so people won't skip it?
JR has his hand up.
I
Yeah.
don't know, but YouTube has a very similar feature. I don't know if it's on regular YouTube, but definitely premium, where they have a skip ahead button.
Yep.
And it automatically does it. I don't know if that has driven.
So JR said what, Jack?
JR said that YouTube has the skip the ad feature in the first 5 seconds, but that is only
In the video.
In the video they also have the skip ahead function. Okay, so yeah, Spotify just following YouTube's lead. Ellie is raising her hand from the corner of the office. So now it's a discussion. Ellie, what would you kind of see as an interesting ad? Read it. Well, great prompt there from Ellie.
Well, you're about to see one in a little bit when we talk about Tatari, Ellie.
But the way that I think you would go about it is like you would bring it in as like a segment. So you'd have like a little moment where you get to discuss something that's happening with like your jeans. I feel like I know podcasters that do this really well, where like they are like, oh, I have my Madewell jeans, and they're like, oh, I wore jeans to this party yesterday, and then they talk about like a story from the party. And that's kind of how you do it.
There's going to be some creative solutions.
The other strategy is that if you do have a boring, long ad read that's just messaging, like you do kind of trick someone into just staying in the ad read long enough. Like they'll catch enough bits and pieces to have it stick in their brain. But I don't know, I feel like almost the most valuable part of that ad read is the first 3 seconds when they just say the name of the brand. And they're just like, yep, Tatari. Shout out to Tatari for all. And by the way,
Tatari TV time.
Tatari TV time. All right, our next story, Gino, what do we got?
Next up here is we have a new global campaign for AB InBev. Cheers to beers. I'll cheers to that. This is made by Wyden and Kennedy, ladies and gentlemen. Nice spot that they have here. There's a bunch of people cheersing their beers and celebrating occasions here. A more general global approach, not one beer brand like specifically mentioned. Showed multiple beer brands in the spot here. Let's show the ad.
Please welcome our very own Kalen.
Okay. Yeah, so what you were saying, Gino, interesting thing. At a wedding.
It's a Lombard wedding.
Yeah, Michelob Ultra after you win the race. Very interesting. To a future with more cheers. So this is done by Wyden and Kennedy, global brand film, AB InBev. AB InBev, I believe, is like one like the creative marketer of the year was the AB InBev CMO. But
I can.
Okay, so we all saw like all the different ways the beers show up. Gino was able to help me with creating this graphic, and I want to pull it up.
This is beautiful.
So stick with me here. Let's talk about each of the beers, where they're positioned, because we were talking yesterday with Jim Curtis, who's the CCO of Le Pub New York, who works on Heineken, and he told us Heineken is like the metropolitan rooftop bar beer for your urban person who goes out, wants to enjoy a Heineken at a nice bar. So that got us thinking. So let's go maybe around the horn here. You got Corona as your beach bar. And also let's note the axes. Yeah. So you got uplifting and inspirational at the top. You got your mainstream mass appeal to the right versus local/subculture, down to earth every day at the bottom. AB InBev comes out with a campaign. They're everything. So they're in the middle, of course. Heineken, Metropolitan Rooftop Bar. Corona is your beach bar. Also like maybe local, subculture, beach.
Yeah.
Not kind of uplifting-ish. And then you got your Guinness as Irish bars. I just got a Guinness in the Irish bars category. Very local. A little down to earth every day, but the professional drinking Guinness. But Modelo, I just got biker bars because at the biker bar from our hometown, Demito's, they all drink Modelos. Bud Light's your tailgate bar, and Miller Lite is Southside Chicago bar beer. That's where people in the South Side of Chicago drink that all the time. Great tasting, less filling. And then Budweiser always shows up at live music bars, and you saw it in that commercial as well. And then you got Michelob Ultra as your championship bar, your locker room beer bar. So your thoughts on this, Gino?
This is fascinating. So this is from your perception paired with some of the conversations you had with like the people actually shaping these brands. So there's some legitimacy to this too, but it's a mix of your takes.
Just me.
Just you.
Just me based on what I've heard. And it really started because Jim Curtis yesterday told us that Heineken is the metropolitan rooftop bar beer. And
Tracksuit is our exclusive data partner, but they did not provide this image to us.
Yes, I want to make that very clear.
Very clear.
They would never make something this off or
Yes,
wrong.
this is just
This
vibes.
is just straight vibes.
This is
It really
vibes.
is. But tell me, do you see any lies here? Because in the ad itself, you saw Michelob Ultra always showed up when it was either the marathon race completion or the two guys at the sporting
I think the
events.
Michelob Ultra placement is perfect.
Yeah.
Right there. Uplifting, aspirational, mainstream enough for people as well. Like that's a great spot there. Budweiser itself, mainstream appeal so far to the right there. I might have some quarrels with that one.
The Budweiser is in an interesting spot. Miller Lite is kind of, I think, in a perfect position. Guinness, I think, is a one that's pretty nuanced. Guinness, I think, is closer to mainstream at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe, I think actually, like, it kind of is a little bit more down to earth. Like, the core of Guinness does feel like not necessarily aspirational, I would say. It is more down to earth. You remember, like, the Lovely Day for Guinness, the work from Uncommon that came out last year? It was highlighting how Guinness shows up in these very, like, unique subculture, local, like, union worker type vibe. Type vibe.
Outside of the Irish bar, you're saying.
Yeah.
So you're saying a lot of the marketing efforts have not worked on Jack at this moment yet. To be a summer beer, to show up in all these different locations outside of the Irish bar. To you, I know you just went to the Guinness factory as well.
You also
were
went
just
to the
in
Guinness
you were in
factory.
Dublin as
We
well.
both were there
so
at the
that
same
might have
time.
also reset your perception of it too.
Yeah, exactly. And that's
It's awesome. Let's go back to the spot though. I mean, the spot itself from AB InBev, which brought this all up here, I think it is kind of fascinating. It's like not selling the specific beers. It's not selling like any price promotions here.
Yeah.
It's really about the ritual of like when you're in these moments, whatever they might be, a cheers with an AB InBev. It's the ritual.
the last thing I'll say is that it's pretty interesting to see now, like, these portfolio beer brands, even Heineken itself. Jim Kerr is saying yesterday that they just need to get people out to bars. Like,
Yeah, because I forgot what the stat is. People are drinking beer less.
people are drinking less beer, I think, and like less of the mainstream beers because they're not going to bars as much. Like, you drink people. I feel like as a human, you drink a classic mainstream AB InBev type beer at the bar. And then if you're at home drinking a beer, you're like, oh, I'll get the IPA 6-pack situation. I think it's very obvious that like the AB InBevs and the Molson Coors of the world get most of their sales from selling to bars, like the distributing to bars.
Totally.
And not like selling you a 6-pack.
I'm also considering it's like people might be drinking beer, but it's like what type of beer? They might be opting for that premium beer, like you said, at home. But just in general, like if I'm going to have a beer, like people might be thinking, I want this premium beer, this locally crafted beer, or there's like non-alcoholic beers, or there's even like these, dare I say,
No, don't do it.
there's THC beverages. I know we're against it. Like there's so many competitors out there
Yeah.
that it's hard to.
Yeah, and when you're like AB InBev and you own all of those different things, you're just like, if as long as someone gets out to a bar, they're gonna buy something that we make. So it's pretty interesting.
You know, what's
it
with
makes for
these-
better ads. It makes for like more interesting ads than like a price promotion, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
You know, what's with these bars in New York now that only sell Miller High Life?
Yeah,
Like,
that's interesting.
That's the only beer. That seems to be the chic beer for 2 summers in a row now.
It's very, dare I say, Bushwick. Let's move on to the 2-minute drill, Gino. Here we go. It's
Ooh,
the 2-minute
we're
drill.
doing this?
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
it. Let's jump into it. First thing, these are the biggest stories of the
we get a
day.
sound effect?
2 minutes each. Oh, fuck, my bad.
It's okay.
Pinterest. We're back. Jackie Stock Tips is back. Pinterest as a Q2 where revenue goes up 18%. So you look at that, you're like, oh my God, this is great. All-time high global monthly active users, seemingly great results, but they forecast a slowdown in revenue growth over the next few quarters, which has investors shaken a little bit, Gino. The stock is down, I believe, 7% in the time. It's down 9% now, really going down right now, but primarily because of that, guidance in the next year around the slow of revenue growth, which is interesting. We're talking about it because, of course, Pinterest, big time brand marketing efforts coming over the last 6 months, and it's helped grow users, it's helped grow revenue, but stock people, finance bros are not convinced,
So it delivers revenue growth, but the stock still goes down, Jack.
Well, okay. For my people, they also put out guidance for the rest of the year, which is like how we think we're going to do the rest of the year.
Right.
And they're anticipating a slowdown in growth or negative growth, whatever.
It's a buy for you?
Pinterest is a buy.
Oh!
It's still a buy. I mean, listen, you got a company here that's really leaning into the brand. They got this counter positioning of trying to inspire you to get offline. They're talking about the advertising revenue as kind of their main source. We were talking with Ellie off camera earlier. She was saying that sometimes the experience is mainly just seeing ads. You're seeing a lot of ads. People always make the complaint about the AI showing up on the feed. To me, I think that the power of marketing, I think the power of their positioning, of being the place for inspiration. Ellie said, hey, sometimes user experience isn't great, but I'm a loyal follower. I'm still going to go back to the app. They're growing the account base. They're growing monthly active users. Pinterest is a buy.
Wow. You know what? It's a buy for me too.
Boom! Come on!
Two buys.
Two buys. This is not financial advice. Please consult with a financial professional.
Yeah, so saw this on the Adweek newsletter today. I freaked out immediately. Rob Biacco, the founder of the Band Connection, was caught doing karate lessons here. So I'm going to get Rob on the phone to connect his martial arts to advertising because it's a paywalled article. So let's call Rob to see if he answers this one and tell us what lessons he has.
Here we go. I mean, this is going to be great. This is going to be exciting. Live calling from Rob Biacco, one of the founders of a great app.
Hey, Rob, you're on live with the Breaking and Entering live show here. Want to get an understanding of some of the lessons from martial arts on how they apply to advertising.
The article said that perseverance is probably the number one, right? Smash the ground, hit a stone 29 times to break it before it breaks. That's what you have to do in this job. You got to keep swinging at that thing, keep trying to crack it, keep trying to break it. For the one shot finish, as he calls it, break it with one shot, that rarely happens, right? You got to really, really be persistent and persevere. And there's all sorts of lessons I got from martial arts that carry over into advertising, from your integrity, from even creativity, being more creative. So arts, got arts in it.
It's got arts in it. Do you think there's any ad executive, creative that you can't take down?
Well, humility is also you can carry over to martial arts to this business. So I'm not about to challenging people and saying how badass I am.
It's self-defense, by the way, Gino. It's self-defense, Rob. I get what you're saying.
Love it,
it's
Rob.
Fantastic. Rob, thank you so much for joining the show.
Appreciate you, Rob.
Appreciate you.
Keep up
And
all
great
the hard
article.
work. Great article. Thank you.
That was Rob Biacco. I also, with our last 10 seconds, I want to give a shout out to the YouTube chat. Ricktop7352 says, no one gives a fuck about Pinterest.
Oh!
Shout out to Ricktop7352. Thanks for sharing your opinion. Next up, Old Navy, new ad, Gino. Yabba dabba do Old Navy, as LeBron James says. But this one took off immediately on Instagram. I saw it was posted like 20 minutes. I saw it after 20 minutes. And it had 20,000 likes. But you've got Cardi B here. They bring in Haley Bailey, legend and friend of the show, to be in the commercial. But Old Navy, one of those brands in the Gap portfolio. People might not realize Old Navy and Gap are owned by the same company. But your thoughts?
I mean, this is actually pretty smart because they're bringing in those content creators like with 9+ million followers. So I saw some teasers before this came out from some of those content creators on social media. You see Haley Bailey here, friend of the program, featured in the ad, putting it on her socials. It's a nice play for them to integrate it. Also, it's very cinematic. Like, this is like very well done. I saw some of the comments on YouTube commenting like, came for Cardi B, stayed for the cinematography on this thing.
It is interesting, and we kind of shit on last week the idea of like when they do the cut in the commercial, which I was just cracking up that they did it here again too.
And that was showing that was a red light of like showing the director yelling cut within the ad and showing the behind the scenes like this. So it kind of breaks our rule there.
Yeah, it breaks our rule there, but whatever. You gotta do what you gotta do to get people to stay on the screen. And taking a little bit of a page out of the Levi's book, I feel like.
Okay.
You know, showing like how great you look in Levi's jeans. It's a different insight for sure. Like, but it just reminded me. I feel like Levi's just has such a great hold on, you know, the way that you can feel and look by being in Levi's jeans. Old Navy trying to do something similar there, but leaning on like these content creators, like you said, instead of Levi's with Beyonce, probably the biggest star in the world.
Will this win a Cannes Lion? Absolutely not. Will it move sales? Maybe.
It might.
Probably.
Heading into back to school? Probably. New global Coca-Cola campaign. So this was airing, I believe, everywhere but the United States, but of course done by WPP Open X, the Coca-Cola's ad agency. And the idea is, the commercial itself is like, slow down, life can wait. You kind of have the father in the family. He's too busy with work. He can't join family dinner.
I was cracking up at that. That is going to be me as a father one day. Like, don't yell at the dad. The dad's just trying to.
Listen, the reason that the food is on the damn table is because the dad is working his ass off in the office.
And actually, the dinner's like really good on that table.
I was like, oh my God, is this AI? The spaghetti.
Yeah.
The spaghetti on the plate. If we want to go into it, about halfway through, it does look insanely good.
Really good.
If we go
The
to
kid's
like
sad because the dad is busy.
stop right there. Look at this. Look at how good the spaghetti
My
looks.
dinner's, no offense to my Italian mother, did not look like this. Do not tell her I said that.
They're saying the world will wait. Coca-Cola. It almost did bring me back to the Hilltop ad a little bit. Whenever you see a Coca-Cola ad, you have as ad people, as people that talk about the industry, you just get tossed back to comparing it to the Hilltop ad.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, that's fair.
what is it?
In the 70s for sure.
If I could give.
If I could buy the world a Coke.
Yeah.
What else here?
So Coca-Cola, again, saving the world.
I got a take here. This is like, Coca-Cola is trying to be your life coach here. These brands are like, protect your privacy, like go out and be healthier, and like, go to bars, get your social life up. Now we have a major brand telling me to spend more time with my family. And you know what? I don't hate it, because I kind of do need these reminders. But it's just interesting that they're becoming like these life coaches, putting these messages to you.
It's objectively funny to be like, Coca-Cola is saving the world again. Coca-Cola does it again by saving the world will wait. But I mean, what else can you do? You're Coca-Cola.
It made me feel something.
Yeah, they're in a good spot, I would say. They spend a lot on advertising. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, Gino, this is all fun and great, but we gotta give a shout out to Tatari.
Okay.
Do you want me to? Well, actually, yeah. Let's go. We'll doing it live. We'll do Tatari, and then we'll have a little bit of a fun thing after with it. But I'll do this, Gino, if you want to get going over there.
You got this.
Okay. Shout out to Tatari. If you're an agency, you've had this conversation, your client's maxed out on paid social and search, and they're asking what's next. For a lot of brands, the answer is TV. But whether your agency is new to TV or already buying CTV, building a complete offering can mean adding more partners, more platforms, and more reporting complexity. Tatari gives agencies a simpler way in. Whether you want full service control or a more hands-on partnership where Tatari's team runs point, you plan, buy, and measure linear TV streaming and online video in one platform without handing off the client relationship or building large specialized TV team. Stick with me right now. You keep the client relationship, create new revenue opportunities, and give clients another scalable channel when their existing media mix starts to plateau. And because Tatari buys directly from publishers, more of the budget goes towards media instead of unnecessary ad tech fees. Today, more than 400 plus brands and agencies use Tatari to plan, buy, and measure TV. Take DAC, a full funnel media agency that used Tatari to bring linear and streaming together for its clients, unlocked premium ad inventory they wouldn't have gotten otherwise, and saw double-digit growth in both customer accounts and revenue. So when a client asks, what should we do next? You go to Tatari. Check them out in the comments, link in the comments for Tatari and in the description. Shout out Tatari. Right now, we got the green screen. Let's go over to Gino.
On the green screen, what's going on?
Oh, here we go.
Hey, Jack, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Wonderful. We got a green screen going on. This is a little bit of a green screen inception. Stick with me now. A couple weeks ago, maybe it was last week actually, Kyle Cook released an ad campaign with Yahoo. And then Jack was breaking down his green screen campaign. And now I'm breaking down Jack's green screen breakdown of Kyle Cook. And what I want to point out is how comfortable So Jack is pointing out Kyle Cook. Jack is doing a great job in front of the green screen. I'm trying to actually practice some of his techniques right now.
Yeah,
He does like this closed hand up, I believe, if you can see.
Learn that in
He's like
church.
closed hand up, which is interesting call out there. Maybe something we can improve upon. But really, his feet are planted. He's comfortable in front of it. And now I feel like I'm not as rigid enough. So I'm going to give some movement here. He's really kind of calling out.
You have good spacing right now. You got Kyle Cook's in the middle, me on one side, and you right there. This is great.
And remember, Kyle Cook is now like the new weather boy for the Yahoo weather app that they launched. I've actually been checking it out every day. It's got like these funny little references and like if you should go out and party tonight. So if it's storming like it is tonight in New York City, it's like weather's not it tonight.
So who are we talking? And we're about to talk with someone, I believe.
That's right.
That helped make this.
The head of Yahoo's creative lab.
Yeah, it's Kemma. Kemma's going to be joining the show in a second. All right, great job, Gino. Looks great. Well done. Come back to the studio. Yeah, great. Listening to that, I heard Gino and my green screen and Kyle Cook all in one audio feed. If you are still watching this live stream after that, you deserve some sort of Nobel Peace Prize.
Did you see my Tatari screen?
And shout out to the AVA Live, shout out Assistants vs. Agents Live. They said, can we do another green screen in front, please? I need more. So I think next week we'll probably do me in front of that green screen. And we'll just see how deep can it go. But well done, Gino. Okay, the rest of the show is gonna be fantastic. We got 3 amazing guests coming on. First coming on is Kemma. Kemma is the head of the creative lab at Yahoo, and they just came out not only with the Kyle Cook spot, but then also an ad with Robert Griffin III to promote college fantasy football that's now available on Yahoo. I use Yahoo actually for my fantasy thing, but they came out with college fantasy football. Let's play the ad and then we'll talk to Kemma.
RG3? You're my roommate?
Yeah, got an offer to play college football again. Check it out.
You know that says Yahoo College Fantasy Football, right? Where'd he go?
3 wide blueberry.
Hey, shh.
Oh, RG3, you can't play college football, but you can play college fantasy football on Yahoo.
Yahoo!
Here we go. Kemma, how's it going? Whoa, don't mog us like that. Look at that jacket.
I love committing to a bit. And if you've seen RG3's LinkedIn lately, he is also repping this jacket. Thank you for having me.
It's a blast. Good transition there. She's a natural, people. She's a natural. Okay, so the RG3 work is great. And college Yahoo fantasy football. This is the interesting thing too about Yahoo is that we saw last week it's Yahoo weather with Kyle Cook, and now we've got RG3 promoting college fantasy football. It just kind of proves like how diversified and how wide Yahoo's reach is, at least with the content. So Kemma, like for you all, how do you think about keeping things in the same tone but different?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my team, the Creative Lab, obviously we're brand social, we're at Yahoo Social, and we have kind of the opportunity and the pleasure of supporting all of our verticals. They're all completely different, right? They all have different audiences, from sports to fantasy to finance to mail, and we get, to touch all of them on a day-to-day basis. I think the most important thing is just making sure that we sound like we're talking from the Yahoo brand, right? Like all of those different verticals have their own kind of particular voices, but we always want to come off as Yahoo. So we work really intentionally to make sure that we're showing up consistently. We might not be the loudest voice in the room, but we're always going to sound like us. And it's a pretty distinctive voice too, right? Like we're funny, we're self-aware, we're a little irreverent. We really, live up to our name being Yahoo. And that's important for us, whether it's the comment section or a post we do or a caption. We always want to feel like us.
Yeah.
I'm curious about the brand. I want to know, this is a fun question here. If Yahoo is a person and like it's the weekend and Yahoo hits Jack and I up to do something fun, what is Yahoo, this person, going to suggest we do?
That is an insane question. I love it so much. Yahoo is like the best. Yahoo is just bringing so much energy to the hangout. We'll probably bring some great snacks. We're definitely going to make you laugh. And I think that's kind of the fun thing. I think Yahoo is a mixed bag of tricks, right? Like we'll have so much to talk about wherever we're going.
Love that. Love that. Yahoo's always got a story. Yahoo's always got a story.
We always have something to talk about, like, your taxes or fantasy football.
That was pretty good. I mean, that was an impossible question, and you handled that very well.
Crazy.
It's not an easy show.
It's a tough
show to be
It is a tough show. It is a tough show. I want to ask about so like we were talking about how like Yahoo is perceived, and it's kind of interesting because Yahoo is something that a lot of people have like grown up with. Yahoo's been around, like it's one of crazy to say, but it's like one of the older tech companies, like as we know it. So how do you manage that? Because you can't be like the brand that's doing like all the crazy stunty new age kind of thing, because you gotta stay true to your roots, right?
Totally. We kind of call it modern vintage. So like we have the ability to talk about the 90s and the 2000s, but we don't always want to go there. But not every brand has the ability to kind of even bring that sentiment, that kind of feeling that you get when you think about the 90s and the thousands. So we do have fun with that here and there. One of the ways we do it the best, I think, is trolling people in the comments, trolling haters, if you will. We always are joking about like you've had the same Yahoo email address since 1998 and kind of poking at people who might be like razzing us on social. And it's something that I think we're really, really proud of, right? Like we're still here. And at the end of the day, we're the OG internet making jokes about the internet. Like it's incredibly meta and it's really, really fun.
Yeah, exactly. And should we talk about this RG3? Like,
yeah. So you briefed an agency for this. Was it BBDO? Am I correct on that?
Yes, BBDO. They're incredible.
Amazing. So what did you brief them? How does your team work with BBDO, and what did you brief them on for this specifically?
Yeah, so the insight for this campaign, I think, is really the same as the insight for why Yahoo brought college fantasy football to the forefront anyway. It's the fans, and the brief is the fans, right? College football is enormous. Saturdays are bigger than Sundays in a lot of parts of the country. And it's just a rabid, dedicated fan base that really hasn't been able to play fantasy in the way that they might want to, right? Like with your college buddies, the teams that you love, the players that you love. And you're finally able to do that now. And that was the brief for the spot too, right? Like finding somebody who would be the perfect talent is somebody who wants to go back to college and like relive those glory days. And who better than a Heisman winning player in RG3? He was incredible.
Yeah, how was it working with him? I feel like he's a professional because he's a broadcaster, so he's got some experience. How was it on set?
Amazing. All laughs. He was throwing a football. One of the producers like brought their son to shag balls, and he was tossing a ball with this 13-year-old kid. He is just so genuine and endearing. And even something that I loved about him, nobody asked him to do this. On Monday, he was doing his own community management on our social posts. Like he was in there hyping people up. Like no one told you to do that. And that's just like love of the game, love of the campaign and the brand. And that to me, those are the people we want to work with who are just going to do that.
I mean, we got it. RG3 new LinkedIn title unlocked.
Yeah.
Community manager. Is he getting in there? Are we giving him strategy? Are we giving him pointers? Are we saying, hey, RG3, let's make sure we get the CTA at the end of all those comment replies?
No, literally no. All of a sudden the post went live and it was like 15 minutes later and he had responded to like 10 comments already on Instagram, and then he was doing it on LinkedIn, where he has his own, presence over there on LinkedIn, repping this jacket now. But nobody asked him to do that. That's just like excitement. That's genuine.
Yeah. And we're pulling up like the LinkedIn now. Talk to us about why it's so important that RG3 was posting on LinkedIn to announce this. How did you build that into the launch strategy?
Yeah, absolutely. It isn't in our typical, right? Like we're Instagram, TikTok for the most part, but he already had a really fairly robust presence on LinkedIn. Like you said, he's a broadcaster now. He's a businessman. And so that just felt like a really rich territory. Plus we had these jackets made. We really wanted to show them off. Now, sending him back to school and just kind of showing up in that kind of feels a little bit like it's his yearbook photo, just like a little different to spice the campaign up. Was so fun.
Well, it makes a lot of sense too. It's like, like people, like there's like work and corporate fantasy, like football leagues too. So it's like you're speaking on that platform that speaks to mostly people I would assume have a degree that are like on LinkedIn.
And I feel like the LinkedIn sponsored post is like still untapped territory. Like it feels the least sponsored like on LinkedIn. Like that post from him felt very organic. And like
It's still shocking to see RG3 post on LinkedIn.
Yes.
You're like, okay, even if this is sponsored, I want to see what he has to say.
Especially with talent, right? I think that's the extra untapped part of it too, is he's not a traditional, LinkedIn influencer that you might see in your feed every day. He's a celebrity who has a real presence there. So it felt very, very right.
So he's like he's like community managing. So he's running his social pages.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's great. There's a lot of there's so many executives just in like the corporate world that don't even run their own LinkedIn pages. So it's like, if RG3 can manage his own social, I feel like everyone should be able to manage their own social.
He has 4 kids. He's a busy guy and he can still do his own LinkedIn.
Yeah, he's in it. He's in it for sure.
So when BBDO proposed the idea of RG3, him like the concept of him like thinking he's going back to school, was it like an immediate yes? Did you have to build around it? Can you talk us through when you got the idea?
I feel like it's not even that great of a story because it was an immediate yes, right? It wasn't even any kind of back and forth. It was just so beyond right for this campaign. We all just want to go back to college, right? You all want to relive those glory days. And he was just such a fun partner for it. He like immediately globbed onto the creative and was ready to go. It was seamless, kind of.
How do you all like organize or work with external agency partners with the in-house creative team?
Yeah, absolutely. So BBDO has been doing a lot of our larger product spots. They did our World Cup campaign with Alexi Lalas. We did a Santa mail delivery campaign with Dylan Efron last year. So they're doing a lot of those larger kind of IAT level campaigns. And then we also, as you know, work with Conscious Minds, and they're more of our social agency. So Conscious Minds acts as a little bit of like an extension of our team. So we're pretty symbiotic with them in the day-to-day. They're helping with always on social content, as well as what we call brand activation. So campaigns like Weather Boy that, might not be as enormous as something like a fantasy football launch, but are really intended to kind of inject Yahoo back into the cultural conversation.
That might be the way.
And then the creative lab is the creative lab kind of separate from like your traditional like marketing team?
Yeah. So we sit within marketing, obviously reporting into Josh Line, but we're sort of a cultural think tank, if you will. So again, leading brand social, always on social, these kind of larger activations, as well as creators and influencers come under our purview as well.
This is the way. This has to be the way. Because especially for Yahoo, because there's so much. There's so much
like
there.
Multiple brands, like offerings too. It's like you can have a whole agency for each one of those things.
And if you like, Yahoo has such a distinct voice, and you can almost tell like this is kind of the way if you're like a massive brand, but you still want to feel personal in a way.
You need the central hub, the think tank.
I like the think tank.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't. How is the crew? Is the crew do we just got some absolute dogs in this crew?
The crew is great. I'm obsessed with them. They're definitely watching and probably blowing up my Slack right now about this. No, we have an amazing group. We have strategists, we have creatives, and then again, Conscious Minds is really an extension of the team. And it's amazing. I think there's a trope out there, obviously, that like a lot of big brands have really small social teams, and that's been the way in former roles that I was in, the teams of 2 and things like that. And we're very fortunate to have, there's 7 of us on the team. It's a solid group, and we all have the bandwidth to support all of the products, which is really fun.
Yeah, that's fantastic. 7-person social team running Yahoo. That's great. Yeah,
College, fantasy football. I just checked the weather tonight. Kyle Cook on the weather app says, the weather is kind of killing my buzz, but whatever. That's for New York. That's the summer report today. I love checking into this.
Yeah, it is pretty good. I do. It is pretty good. Kyle Cook.
It's like I don't want to read through all the stuff. I just want to know what Kyle Cook has to say if I should party or not tonight. So it works for me.
It's important to know.
Well, Kemma, thank you so much for joining us, and congrats to you and the rest of the crew at Yahoo and the crew at BBDO for this new campaign, and excited to chat soon.
Thank you, guys. Talk to you
See
soon.
you, Kemma. Kemma. That was Kemma mogging us with the Letterman jacket and also giving some great insights into the Yahoo Creative Lab, Gino.
Yes.
Very cool. You know who else is giving out great insights?
That would be Tracksuit. This episode is brought to you by Tracksuit. Look, we all know this is an ad. Before your eyes and ears glaze over, answer one question.
Yeah.
When's the last time your strategy was based on current data? Most brand tracking runs on last year's numbers. Tracksuit's doesn't. It's continuous brand health data, awareness, consideration, perception. It's updated every month, everybody. So you're never bringing a stagnant deck to a live conversation. We're in a live conversation right now.
That's right.
Think of it as your GPS, not your rear view mirror. It shows you exactly where you stand before you make your next move. Tracksuit, up and running in 30 days. Go check it out at gotracksuit.com. We got it in the description as well.
Yeah,
Thank you
well,
to JR.
teaser for everyone. Tomorrow we've got a great segment, very revealing type stuff about a very interesting brand story with data from Tracksuit. Stay tuned for that. Also, right now we're about to bring in Max Reisinger, who is the CEO at Creator Camp. Creator Camp is like this new age Hollywood studio, I would say. Max has like a creator background, has hundreds of thousands of subscribers on YouTube, and then he started this Creator Camp where like he's kind of helping creators, like fund and build their projects, entertainment type stuff. Then, of course, started an agency, has worked with Claude, has worked with Notion already, Lovable, and doing some great work. And he launched the agency like officially on Instagram, I think last week. Let's show the video. 2030 stuff, but watch the video if you want to go check it out.
It's so good. Like these guys, what these like all their ads are like incredibly high craft, and like I'm hooked on them.
Yeah, Max Reisinger and the crew at Creator Camp is money. Let's bring him in right now. He's the future of advertising, people. Max, how are you doing?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for having me, guys.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you. And I mean, shit, where do we begin? Because you guys have got a lot going on.
How does it feel to be the future of the industry? How about that?
It's exciting. It's exciting. We're having fun.
Can you give people a little bit of background on yourself for those that maybe don't know you or Creator Camp?
Yeah. So when I was 15, my family moved to France for a year. I'd always wanted to start a YouTube channel, but I said that my life wasn't interesting enough. And then it finally was. And I really wanted to make movies. I wanted to turn my life into a TV show and just like document myself growing up and living in a foreign country. And about 4 years ago, I met my co-founders who were also trying to do similar things. We were really excited about bringing more cinematic storytelling to the platform. And we started this movement called the YouTube New Wave, which then turned into Creator Camp. And really, we've been focused on bringing together like some of the most talented directors, storytellers of our generation. And that's what we want to be the home for.
Yeah. Is it in the like you guys went to a cabin, I believe, in Montana? Was that the first like kind of camp?
That's how it started.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that portion of that video, and it was amazing to see. I guess what did you learn? Like, explain to the people. Like, you get together with your friends, all talented, unsure what's going on. You get to like a cabin in the woods. You stay there for 4 weeks. What was uncovered there? Tell me about that experience.
Yeah, like I think any career on the internet nowadays is like bizarre. It's weird. It's uncharted territory. And for us, we were like, it felt like we were going against the grain, right? Like we weren't trying to maybe optimize our videos in the way that Mr. Beast would focus on. And so it felt like we're really swimming upstream. And so I think it was exciting just to meet other people who wanted to do something different on the internet. And we're all just like, we don't know what we're doing, but it feels better to be doing it with other people. And let's just like tinker away at this problem. So it felt relieving, I think, and exciting and motivating.
May I just ask a follow-up here? Can you explain to the people like a Mr. Beast style video? I'm assuming it was like optimized for like attention and like max engagement. Is that a fair assumption? If you want to clarify that, and then what is your group of creators like? That what was that initial thesis about? Like you want to create something different, but can you describe what different is?
Sure. Yeah, I'd say like a Mr. Beast video. Maybe you can think about like them putting a timer in the first 5 seconds or doing an explosion. Like they're really trying to get your attention. I think for
That's
us, we
true.
wanted to emulate. We felt a little different just in like tone and feel. Like no shade to what they're doing at all. I think it's smart. It's clearly worked. But I think for us, we were like, what would a TV show look like if it was on YouTube? Something that felt more premium, that felt more scripted, where you are maybe leaving a few moments to really like make people feel something instead of cutting that for retention. Like, how do you really motivate the story itself? And not just like cut everything down and sort of play the YouTube game per se. I think we wanted to challenge audiences as opposed to like make it as easy to stay to the end of the video. So like more filmmaking, I suppose, trying to like really bring that onto YouTube.
So you have success with that, and then of course, I understand the evolution to like now you can do this for brands. So can we talk about Camp Studios and kind of what you're doing there?
Yeah. So like Montana is where it started. And then over the next 4 years, we hosted like summits all around the world, bringing together like folks like us, but really talented directors, filmmakers, musicians. And so we'd assembled this like massive group of creators, like a few hundred folks that we were like, this is the next generation. And they're putting out incredible work. And so brands just started coming in and they were just interested in like, I think the world of advertising right now, there's like there's a commercial, a multi-million-dollar commercial. We've seen like the rise of UGC, but I think now we're finding like this is interesting white space in the middle of folks who are capable of producing really premium content, but in a really different way. And I think that's like the market that brands find really appealing is like, how do we tell stories on social media that aren't just like one big moment, but how do we build like a sustained narrative over time? And so Camp Studios has really grown rapidly over the last like year or so. We've just publicly announced, but we've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes, partnering with brands to do anything from a commercial to like run a whole social page.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So then you're running the studio itself that handles like the administration, the operations, creative resourcing, I'm assuming, to find the right talent for that specific project that you've met from the past 4 years of running these conferences and these events. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. We have a really talented team, both internally of some of these creators, but then also externally with folks as well.
So let's maybe dig into like one of the examples. So like I know you worked with Claude, like the Claude work is fantastic.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the relationship there? Like what is Claude asking for? And then what are you guys delivering?
Yeah. So I think in the case of that partnership, for us, it was like, how do we elevate working with a creator instead of maybe doing just a one-off, advertisement with one creator? How do we really build a world and create a moment? That was really the thought process of like the creators that they want to partner with, I think are capable of doing more. And so that was the same kind of push there of like, I think Megan Tan can direct a commercial and heck, let's shoot it on film. Let's get other creators involved. Let's collab post it with them. Let's like really build a world here. I think that's what Claude was looking for. We're like, let's make a moment. And have creators really like shine in that moment that we're creating.
So you guys kind of like you have the relationship with the creator and the creators themselves, and so then and then you also like these creators are like talented filmmakers and talented editors, and like they have their teams too that help them build cinematic sort of films. It's like that ad. Like I remember when that came out, like it was so good. It's
what's the line in that? How grateful it is you should be to be stressed or to be tired from something you love, like doing something. I love that. Especially New York moments too in there. It spoke to me.
100%.
Yeah. So what do you think like is when you see the, maybe bigger brands that are kind of playing social and putting out these like ads on social in the ways that like, what are the things that kind of like drive you nuts? That are like, why do they do this?
That's a great question. I think a lot of like organic social pages, like those tend to drive me nuts. Like you look at a big brand and like they're putting out stuff and it's getting like 10 likes. And I'm like, there's just so much more that you guys could be doing. And then you look on TV and they just spent like $5 million on like a nice ad spot, but then their social page is like an intern's running it. And it's like, that's cool, but it feels weighted in maybe I don't want to say the wrong direction, but I think the weight should start to shift over a bit more. And I think that's where we see a lot of just room to like have fun and experiment.
I'm so fascinated by this. Like, I guess, how do you keep this thing running? Like you have a brilliant creator that has what I'm assuming is like creative control, but then you have a large brand that wants some things here. Like, how do you, like, kind of in the middle person here, how do you kind of navigate that balancing act?
It's a great question. I think even the word like influencer and creator gets like thrown around. But the way we think about it is like these creators are more like directors, the ones that we work with. And so a lot of them think like a traditional director. They just happen to have built a following and have to like sharpen their tools by putting out maybe hundreds of videos on social. And so a lot of these folks like have worked in crews before. They understand how to work with brands. They're quite mature and are like really impressive and talented. And so for them, they like understand what brands are looking for, and it feels like maybe less of a jump for them. And so they understand that brands have their final say. They have their objectives, but then we're also there to like help obviously make it all smooth and easy.
Now, is your team like ideating, like if this is a series, like what are the general components of this series? What is it gonna say in it? Are you concepting? Are you allowing the creators to concept it? Or is everybody involved?
It's usually a mix of everyone being involved. So, like, I think we obviously care about what the creators have to say. We want to obviously integrate the brand's priorities, and then our team has our own thoughts and perspectives of how to bring it to life. And oftentimes, like, we're working with the brand before to figure out the strategy before we bring on the creators and like understanding who would be the right fit for this. And there's some work we do that isn't as like creator focused as well. Like we work with some traditional directors on some larger campaigns, but maybe we bring in creators to help do the BTS series and do an elevated version of that, for example, and really like build a campaign around it. So it looks different for the different size and scope.
How much of this is like educating the brand? How much of it, I could just see a world where like a brand is like, well, I saw the stuff you guys did for that brand, I want that. And you kind of, how do you educate these brands? It still feels very early for something like this.
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, I think a lot of just conversations and us making a lot of text, to be honest, of like, here's what we do, here's what we're trying to do, here's why we think it's valuable, why you guys should do it. But I think a lot of that ultimately is on us and why we're launching the page publicly on Camp Studios. Like we need to do more work to get our name out there. So far, it's been like we've been writing off a lot of inbound through the Creator Camp Instagram page over the last year and just have like reoccurring brand partners. But as we start to scale, I think that's ultimately on us for brands to understand like who we are, what we're trying to do, and why it's valuable.
Yeah, you're just making bangers on social pretty much.
Awesome.
Like it's pretty interesting because we hear, there's like ad agency that we talked to recently, like really great ad agency in Canada. Their name is Courage. And the founder is like, at this, like right now, our whole thing is you just got to make bangers. And like, that's what, like, at least the game on social media right now, if you can put out at the level that say like a Claude is doing on social, where I feel like every other week I'm getting like a viral Claude, like highly cinematic ad that's just like a built for social film that's not just a cut down from a TV commercial. Like you got to be able to do that, and that's kind of massive, I feel like.
And listen, I'm going to see this stuff regardless because they're gonna put paid dollars to boost whatever they're making on social, and it's gonna pop up on my feed. So I'd much rather watch a Camp Studios production.
Yeah, Max, what's your take on that? Because the Gary V methodology is is you test it on organic social, and then if the concept pops, then you put paid behind it, and then like you go all the way up to like a TV Super Bowl commercial as after you've tested enough. What's your take on that?
I think it's spot on. Like, I think if it's working and it's engaging, like some of our brand partners and even startups that we work with, like we run their organic page, the things that are working, they'll just like boost it to the moon. And if it works, it works. So like, and I think our stuff now is even going on like CTV, for example. And like some of it, we're not just making for vertical content. It's also, we're testing like 4x3 or fully horizontal. And it's actually having like media placement, in other areas that we didn't expect. I was like, hey, we thought we were just running your Instagram page, but now you guys want to like run this on TV too at the same time, like before it's even gone on organic. And so that's like, that's shocked us, but like, hey, I think it's good enough to be on TV.
Hey, if it's not this year, 2028, I can see Camp Studios Super Bowl commercial.
There you go. Come on now.
There we go.
And,
You heard it here
Max,
first.
Max, if there's anything you're hiding from us right now,
You have to tell us.
You have to tell us, or else.
You have to tell us everything.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I mean, what about the fact of I'm playing devil's advocate. If I'm a brand,
oh my god,
I'm like, oh my god, I'm about to throw all this money at Creator Camp at Camp Studios to make me this organic social video. How do I even know it's gonna work? Like, why not just put it on? I know enough people are gonna see it on TV. Why don't I just make another TV commercial?
No, there's more people on social media and watching TV.
Oh, but the algorithm, the feed, Gino. Max, what do you say to something like that?
I was going to step in for you, Max. Sorry. I'm getting pissed off at Jack.
I got it.
You got this
I got it.
Take them out.
Why not do both? Why not do both? Like if it works on the feed and it works on TV, it's a win-win. And I think also the nice thing about social is like you have an audience that comes back and you can build a brand and you can build loyalty there. And so like, for example, like we're working with this startup called Wabi. We posted a video yesterday. It now has 2.6 million views in the last 24 hours. It's popping off. It's doing great, but like they just got a bunch of new followers and there's people that are following along. And I think that that compounds. And I think there's a lot of value to that beyond just an impression. It's like, how do you build a community for your brands? How do you get people excited and like following along? Because we're doing a lot of like episodic series work. And so I think there's like value in that. So people, recurring viewers as well.
What's the name of it? What's the name of the brand?
Wabi, and the account name is Wabi Maxing. WABIMA, I think XXING.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Amazing.
That is, I mean, to me, it makes a lot of sense. I was going to say, like, think about it. If you think about it, the new brands that we know of that have launched in the last decade, they've built their brand through social media. No new brand in the last decade has built it through TV. And
if you're going to do that,
am I wrong though? Like, if you think, I'm trying to think, Liquid Death, Duolingo. I guess like you could say Claude, OpenAI maybe, but like social felt.
Yeah, for me only like I saw like the Kalshi ad like 8 million times during the World Cup, and I didn't see anything on social. So they got in front of my face about 1 million times. So.
And they also
we'll give it to Kalshi.
They do the Max playbook of why not both. Like they go hard as hell on all their marketing. It's kind of wild to me. Like, is their marketing budget just like infinite?
Infinite. Yeah. It's just like Minecraft creative mode, just everything more.
They got the GTA 4 like hack and code.
They got the glitch. Yeah, they got the glitch.
Love it. All right, Max, appreciate it. Thanks for the time.
Best of luck.
Yeah, we'll talk soon.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Cheers.
That was Max. Gino, our next guest is the Global Chief Design Officer at TBWA. And I want to note, Gino, that they went through a rebrand.
They did a rebrand?
Can you talk about that for us?
Yeah, they did a rebrand. It's analog. In a world of AI and all slopness, they went hand to paper. Ever freaking heard of it? You ever picked up a pencil?
Yeah, and
that's what they did.
It was with DXD. DXD is the TBWA design agency. Let's bring in Bruno. Bruno is the Global Chief Design Officer at TBWA Worldwide to talk about the rebrand. Bruno, how are you doing?
Hello guys, I'm doing great. Great to see you.
It's great to see you too.
Thanks for having me here. My mom is really proud of me today. She loves you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Bruno's mom. That means
thank
the
you to
world.
Bruno's mom.
At least one of our moms is proud of us. That's
just
great.
one of the three here. Bruno, first question for you. It's just a little fun game that we have. It's just something that Jack mentioned yesterday. How many pages is the brand book for this redesign for this amazing agency?
Oh my God, probably 255 pages.
And the over hits 175.
Come on, let's go.
This is crazy, guys, because I think nobody loves any brand guidelines, right? Just designing weirdos like us, generally speaking, people don't fall in love about brand guidelines. It looks like, do you remember the Adidas 1963 brand guidelines, page 74, but yeah, it's a lot of work for sure.
Okay, outside of this one, what's like on your, what's your top 1 or 2 brand books of all time?
Oh my God, probably the 91, not specifically the brand guidelines, but when Vargil went there, when they changed everything, I think it's one of my favorite because it was a nice rebrand, not just a rebrand, but the way to use the actual assets and the way to rebrand things. And the old ones, I think the Adidas is a pretty special one. I have been looking this one years ago and it was amazing in Germany. This looks beautiful. Like the historical piece of art. You have all the historical of all the brands, the World Cups, the soccer balls. Man, it's a beautiful stuff for design nerd as me.
What was
That's
the first
so
one?
Yeah, what was the first one?
The first one is the Nike. When Nike started their brand with Virgil Abloh, I think it was one of the more special ones for me.
That's great.
Wow.
All right, so but, for this rebrand specifically, I guess I just like had as someone who's just on the outside looking in, like how does this process even begin? Like where do you start? And what's like the first thing to kick off doing something as big as TBWA's global rebrand?
I think we can talk about two different points. The first one is nobody needs or is waiting for another agency rebrand, let's be honest. And this wasn't just for the rebrand for the sake of change, especially because it's a hell of work, implement this something like this globally in multiple offices is a nightmare. Shout out to the global team who helped us on this mission. But for me, the first idea was, as long as TBWA became this stronger collective with the legacy brands with DDBs, Lola, Mullen Lowy, now we need to create this new brand DNA inspired by Bill Bernbach and Frank Lowy. My favorite one, Lee Klaus. The idea was, okay, we need to something to express this new culture, and for sure the design, and as long as the culture evolves, the identity needs to evolve as well. So that was the idea, to bring this kind of a new visual branding universe that reflects our new chapter, and that was the first mission. And the second was, okay, as long as we're going to build this brand universe, how are we going to create this in a different kind of a version, breaking these conventions? Right now, we have great AI tools to create brand guidelines, incredible assets, but how to bring back the human touch to be more distinctive and use the craft as the main part of this story, bringing back some heritage points, but be distinctive, unique, with more valuable, bringing the craft in the center of this. That was the primary part of this rebrand process, understanding we need this to align the new vision of TBWA with these new legacy companies. And the second, how to represent those creative DNAs and so huge iconic names in an interesting way, in a fresh way. That was the beginning of this journey.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part about the rebrand?
Oh my God, this is tough. I think the illustrations. I love illustrations, especially because there's a kind of a nice representation of this pirate spirit. All the quotes from Steve Jobs about it's better be a pirate than join the Navy. And all the process was pretty raw because you have this in your mind, but you need to create and to be open for the imperfectional part of the system. It was pretty inspired to me. But I think the illustrations are my favorite part for sure. I know some of you guys are not completely sold on the monogram. We're gonna work better next time.
Hey, listen, we gotta get our takes off, Bruno.
Yeah, absolutely.
We gotta get. This is, of course, I appreciate that, and that's why we're here to talk about it. I'm here to learn. The other thing I want to talk about is doing your own rebrand versus doing one for someone else. How different is that? That's kind of an interesting thing.
Is it less stressful or more stressful to do it for yourself?
Ooh, absolutely more stressful, especially because imagine how many CTOs we have inside this network. All of them is going to judge our work, my friend.
And then us too. And then you got these two dorks here that are also going to judge your work.
That's it. You're the final boss, like, guys, okay, but no monograms. So I'm trying to do my best. Yes, but I think it's brutal process, but it's very interesting, especially because you're highlighting multiple offices, different cultures, not just about TBWA and one unique vision. As you see, this system, it's open enough. We have 20% open to see the local interpretation, and super excited to see what the offices is going to bring to the table. But it's pretty brutal in terms of the system to approve, to have everyone on board. And the second thing is about the most special part of this is to apply our own methodology in ourselves. We have our own methodology about the design, and we call this the visual brand. So, and apply this in ourselves is an amazing exercise to understand, to break the conventions, to understand using strategy and data to understand our heritage, the points about the historical moments of TBWA and how to bring this in a fresh perspective. It was an interesting and very tough, a very tough process to us, to be honest. But it was a nice one. But a lot of us internally, CMOs and CTOs were approved for sure.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the other thing I was going to say. Especially these days, I feel like every rebrand is immediately getting dissected, picked apart, it's like becomes mainstream news sometimes.
It's fun to talk about.
And it's fun to talk about. So for you as the person that is at the level of like, now you are kind of like speaking on behalf of the whole rebrand, do you, at this point, are you numb to it all? You're just like, people are going to say how they're going to say and whatever? Because, I mean, honestly, I feel like this has gotten mostly positive sentiment from what we've seen.
Oh yes, absolutely. Especially those days, everybody loved to hate something in those days, and especially rebrands are very sensitive to touch things that people are familiar about it. I don't know if you're talking about logos from sports teams or brands from, I don't know, rebranding for iconic brands is always tough, especially because you have a lot of conventions. People are so familiar about those brands. For sure, the challenge is big, but I think the feedback has been incredibly positive. Just see some few hates here and there, but generally speaking, the sentiment was extremely positive. Yes, some people don't like the monogram, but generally speaking, people are super
you know, I'm looking at. I just sent you JR.
This is the best thing. This is the best interview of all time.
JR, I sent you a screenshot. Can you pull this up here? I just wanted to, pretty low quality. Well, you made like these like little monikers as well for, what am I looking at? The One Show, mused by Cleo, Leah, Ken Lyon, DNAD, and I don't see a breaking entering moniker, like a little stamp that you could put on as well when your work is featured on the whiteboard or anything like that. It might. We have it pulled up here.
Is that just? This must be an older version. This must be an older version.
Yeah, this was in the
They sent you the wrong version. I'm gonna take notes, guys, for sure. No monograms.
There he is. He's very clearly writing. Very clearly writing down. You know what? How about this? I'm going to take a note myself, Bruno. How about that?
Oh my
Here's me. I'm going to do my note as well.
They send you the wrong version of the brand guidelines.
This
Sorry
is
about
in the Ad Age article as of like 5 minutes ago. You're getting a lot of articles on this thing. This is awesome.
No, yeah.
I mean, this is a press machine.
Also the thing of it being like imperfect. I love the I love the slash. If we can talk about something that I like. The slash.
I'm glad you're giving us a kind of positive feedback to get excited.
I like the pirate icons.
So I guess I want to move almost to like design, like the state of design today, because it's interesting. There's so much talk about taste, mood boards. I don't know if it's just like a nature of like my algorithm, but there is also this conversation that like taste is also flattening, because what becomes mainstream hits everyone and hits everyone's mood boards. How do you feel about it? Like how taste and design has changed with the state of how people are getting like fed algorithm, the same stuff?
No, I totally agree with you guys, especially because right now we are living in this AI moment that you can create things super fast with incredible tools. And everybody's pushing for the same kind of references because we have been impacted for the same kind of material. Probably your Instagram feed looks like similar than mine. All the design stuff, rebrandings every time. And people are following this, I don't know, this kind of a digital best practice and trying to be correct and try to be safe. And sometimes they're forgetting how to be more personal or to have more soul and how to take some risks in terms of executions. And that's why I think everybody's pushing for the same territory. Part of our methodology is to understand the convention. So this mapping about what people are doing, the way they are behaving, the way they are doing assets, it's so important. Should deny this and start something differently, for sure, to make a research about our heritage, about ourselves, but how to not repeat those formulas, how to break this convention and be real disruptive to design. And I think answer your question about the backslash is one of my favorite part as well. The backslash is the main symbol of TBWA, and we are trying to create the backslash not just a design asset, but to create a kind of a symbol of human expression. Right now, every single employee will draw their own version, and every single officer is going to have their own version of the backslash inspired by culture, symbols, and architecture movements and artistic movements. And I think it's beautiful to see, for example, this imperfectional interpretation of the Japan version of our office, or New York, or South Africa. I think that's the beautiful part of this system, to have this 20% modular where all the offices bring their taste, but generally speaking, the backslash is a special part of the system as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. The each unique one. I think that to me is like a cool way to do it. We'll do our own as well.
It's not just a new logo or a new monogram. Like, you got a bunch of stuff that you'll be cooking on here.
250 pages. 250 pages. You gotta. I mean, especially Gino was bringing this up yesterday. The logistics that goes into the rebrand, Bruno. Because this is like, it's like a thankless thing. Is what people might not realize now with this rebrand is all the hard work now that goes into implementing it across a world global organization.
No, absolutely. And I think that's the challenge. Sometimes as designers, people thought like, oh my God, this is great. They were trying to do something cool or putting some kind of a fresh perspectives. But no, this is a hell of work. Like you said, guys, every single email signature, every single deck, every single touch point for this brand needs to change internally on the offices, every single screen. And this is a nightmare because every time you are looking to have any problems to implement this, we have a huge team to roll out this. And every single day we saw the summary about, okay, they're implementing the right way. Oh my God, this is not doing well. Let's change this, the sizing of stuff. Because on the paper, everything looks perfect. On the real life is the challenge moment to implement all these assets. And it's for sure, it's a brutal process. And sometimes people don't pay attention how tough it is. For sure, we have a lot of experience because we have been doing this with different companies. But we for ourselves is the worst because you see every detail of this, every single screen on the office. Literally yesterday I was here in LA. I said, guys, this television looks awful. It's not the right size, guys. It's a fucking disease, guys. I don't know if we can say fuck here, but sorry.
Yeah, you can say fuck. It's all good.
I want to give a shout out to Ted Colgate, who's the Chief Information Officer at TBWA. I feel like he'll be busy as well from this rebrand.
Yeah.
So lots of love to Ted.
Yeah, Ted was like, are we absolutely sure that we need a rebrand?
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, probably he was the first one who said, do we really need this, guys? It's doing so well, the slash, the yellows. I think it's perfect. It's timeless. You don't need to touch anything.
Timeless.
It's timeless. That's great.
A nice compliment too.
Timeless is great. It is.
Is that the right word to avoid any kind of a new word? No, this is timeless. You cannot touch the classic,
I love that. That's so good. Well, Bruno, thank you so much for joining. Congrats, seriously though, on the rebrand. It looks great, and I have my opinions, and that's just the state of the situation.
No, you're more than welcome, guys. Next time I'm going to share with you first, for sure, to avoid any kind of reviews, and I'm going to share with you the right brand guideline with the right monogram. No monogram, the logo of the breaking there, so everything will be fine.
Don't let Jack.
Bruno, thank you so much. You're a legend. Absolute legend.
Thanks so much. See you soon.
That was Bruno. That was great. That's what it's all about right there.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I love that. I feel like we, game respect.
Jack has a soundboard if you're just tuning in here.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. That was the live show. What an episode. Got some really good interviews in there, and we talked about some cool stuff. If you're just joining now, or you just joined for the Bruno interview and you want to get caught up, hit that rewind button, or we're going to post it. You'll be able to see the whole thing on YouTube, and then it'll be available on Apple and Spotify as well. Breaking and Entering show.
I love it.
Anything else from you? This is presented by Tatari. Shout out to Tatari. They are goated, and they're also hydrating us, believe it or not. This is water. Good. This is water. Don't get any ideas.
Cheers to beers, Jack.
Cheers. And shout out to Tracksuit, our exclusive data partner. And we'll be back tomorrow, Gino, at noon Eastern time on LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. And yeah, we'll see you then, I guess. How was the stream? Everybody doing well back there?
I think Ellie sent a funny photo during the
shout out to the chat, too. Shout out to everyone that's in the chat, just getting it going. Always appreciate people chatting. Oh, my God.
What is that even supposed to be?
Oh, God.
Is that supposed to be me?
Oh, God.
I can get like that.
That's in the Lower East Side. That was taken yesterday.
I can get like that. That's real. I could.
Oh my God.
How's the chat doing?
Chat's good. Chat's been fantastic.
How do we get their comments to pull up on the screen?
I don't think that's possible.
Really?
That's not possible.
I see the Twitch streamers got it.
Well, we're not on Twitch.
I could probably vibe code something for you.
Can we pull up the can we pull up the brand positioning map that Gino vibe coded? Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Jack I said, Jack, if you have any ideas to do anything, you want me to make anything, I'll make it.
Vibe coded in seconds.
Pull up the last advertising podcast website too.
Here we go.
This bad boy.
Just look at Gino's been in the lab. He said he's cracked at coding.
This took me, the SEO is probably not good.
Shit.
It's www.thelastadvertisingpodcast.com.
Oh, God.
Okay, I just made it.
That's Spotify. He made a website. He vibe coded.
God.
He vibe coded a website.
Clearly not that good at vibe coding.
Oh God, it's not there. The AI overview actually helps you out though. Anything else you want to say?
So
I mean, we're
embarrassing.
back tomorrow. And, oh my God, is it live? Do you not have it live?
Yeah, it's live. Maybe don't.
Oh, there it is. No.
That's not it. I gotta get back to freaking practicing.
Yeah, you gotta maybe vibe code harder, buddy. Get ready to learn vibe coding. Thank you all for joining. We will see you tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern time.